Thank you, Karen. It's time for us now to have a conversation on Extra Mile. And like I've been telling you, in studio tonight, we have Beatrice Elachi. She's the ODM candidate in Dagoretti North. You heard me right. ODM candidate. She's been majority whip in the Senate as a nominated senator, again as Speaker of the County Assembly of Nairobi until she resigned. She joins us tonight to talk about the changing dynamics of the Kenyan politics as we head to the next elections. Senator, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know, let's begin with the dynamics we're seeing and the change. First of all, why is there so much reception from, women voters when it comes to the declaration of Martha Karua as running mate for Raila Odinga? You've seen the polls today showing because of that very decision that his numbers are rising in terms of popularity.
Well, first of all, to thank all the women in Kenya.
Yeah.
And to really appreciate that, I think women, we have struggled since independence. We have talked about women issues. We've talked about the 2/3 gender rule. And I think the excitement comes out to see that, first of all, let us appreciate also Tanzania. When Suluhu came in, I think everything just changed in East Africa. You find that in Uganda, also Museveni has a vice president who is a woman. And so I think that excitement is there, that now Kenya being the economic bloc of East Africa and now coming in, always have struggled with the issues of 2/3 gender rule, while other countries have been moving forward. So it brings Kenya to a different map, and it appreciates that process that women have indeed, and it's our time. And all I want to tell women, let us appreciate that. Let us work around it, and let us see how we change our country, especially when we are coming out of post-COVID. And I can see today in the news that, yes, COVID is also just coming back. And so we really need to really work together to ensure that as much as we have the challenges that we have, both men and women on the table, the issues we've been talking about parity, equity, in terms of development, in terms of improving lives of people, I think when they're both on the table, Baba and Mama, it will be better.
Let's cascade this down. Having the debate of the 2/3 gender rule obviously starts when you are a senator in the Senate, goes to the County Assembly, and then happens to be the CAS gender.
Yes.
Looking at this election, the number of candidates that are vying, and I'm talking about women candidates in this election, do you think we are anywhere close to achieving that 2/3 gender rule?
Well, first of all, kudos to every woman who is going to this election and who has been cleared by IEBC. And indeed, I think for us, after we've looked at the numbers, I think after IEBC gazettes the names, we'll be able now to come and answer that question in a proper way. That are we moving to the right direction? Are we able to achieve? And even if we don't achieve, but I know the percentage will go high. And therefore it means we'll have reduced the numbers of nominations, which every Kenyan has been really pushing, that we want to see women who are participating to the ballot, and women who are being elected. For those women who are in political parties that are within the regions that we know, these are the political parties that work within that region, I want to humbly really request the voters that let us vote in women. And women, as we take this mandate, let us change the lives of our people. Let us be sure and be honest to be accountable to what we have been given. And I think that is my prayer, and that is what we are going to do. I think as women, we are always judged at a very high bench, but when you look at all constituencies that we've had women, we've seen change. And so I believe there will be change.
Do you think the narrative is changing, looking at this election?
Yes.
We've seen quite a number of male governors or male aspirants picking woman deputies. Do you think the narrative is changing? Far from what we had 5 years ago.
Yes, the narrative is changing, and the good thing is that the colleagues, the governors who are vying now, most of them have proved that yes, you need both genders, and it helps. As I said, when you sit on a table where you have both men and women, the men will look at the issues that affect the country. The women will look within the lens a lens of gender, a lens that brings in soft power, a lens that talks about water where women are the ones who struggle to get water, a lens that talks about women empowerment in small SMEs and trade. Women are the ones who do those trades. A lens that looks at differently at the health sector, because women in maternity, women with children, pediatricians, all these things you bring on the table, you look at it at a different lens. And so we balance. So what the men will believe, I know men will believe in infrastructure, they will talk about the roads. Yes, we talk about the roads, but we talk about the roads in a very different way. That yes, we want the roads that will see our people take their trades, their to market their goods and all that. But at the same time, women will look at things that men do not look at. And those are the things that change the social fabric that we have. We will look at issues that are affecting children. We look at issues that are affecting our children who are with special needs. And so beyond what we see on the table, women will bring something very different that you don't see on the table. Absolutely. But it really affects the
You're
society.
one among the women candidates running in this election, obviously running in Dagoretti North. It's a seat you ran for in 2017 on a Jubilee Party ticket. But I'm interested in, having been a loyalist of President Uhuru Kenyatta all through your political life, now you're vying on an ODM ticket.
Oh, yeah.
What has Nairobi politics
And I'm also a very good loyalist of Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. And one thing I would say, you see, and that is one thing I know many of my opponents use on the ground in Dagoretti North. But the most important thing is, after the handshake, and I think that's when I stood with Baba and I said, you know what? Baba has done everything for this country. He has come in now and he has stood with the president. It will be very unfortunate for anyone to try and come and joke with Baba or even just try and be dishonest to him. And so from 2018, I think we have worked with Baba very closely. He has guided me in so many things. He really stood with me in the county assembly. And there was nothing else I would have given Baba, because it's only my honesty, my accountability, and to stand with him to the end. And the good thing with Beatrice Elachi is that going beyond, and as I said, and I've always said, this is Baba's end, not just Baba, but this is what God has prepared for Baba. I mean, it's not his strength, it's not nothing, but it's God's will to see him lead this country. And for us, as I stood with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, I will stand with my Baba to the end. To the end, just the way I've stood with my president. Yes, because I've always said I respect the institutions we have. One of the things we have to respect is the presidency. And that is why I've stood with my president. And I've always said he's the one with the sword. Until the day he hands over the sword is when now you move on. That's the best respect we can ever give him. He will have his own mistakes. He will have, but one thing about him also, he appreciates. And he asks for forgiveness. Same way with Baba. Baba has had his share, but the one thing he has done is to believe in this country and to dedicate himself that he would want to see a better Kenya. And especially his economic liberation, his economic pillar in terms of transforming, Baba will do it.
All right.
He will do it.
All right. Talking about Dagoretti North, because the dynamics in 2017, well, that is you were vying against ODM, on a Jubilee Party ticket.
Yes.
And you're vying against Simba Arati. Simba Arati has moved to Kisii.
And I wish him well as the governor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about how the dynamics have changed from 2017 to now.
Well, one of the things is that we competed with Simba, and I respect him because we did our campaigns with a lot of push and pull, but one of the things we respected is peace. And I just want to ask the young people of Dagoretti North, I think peace is very important. And for me, it's my prayer that we will do an election, finish this election, and after 9th of August, people will go back to their work. that we will not see people burning kiosks of people, anything. I think it will be one of those peaceful elections that we have not seen, and that is my prayer. And so when we look at the dynamics, is that, okay, fine, some of the ODM members feel they always call me, this is a Jubilee mall. They forget that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is also a Jubilee person, and he has pushed until where he is. He has stood so firm to stand with Baba. So I just want to tell them, do you know, in politics we have no enemies? We don't have enemies. We have interests. And I am hoping that our opponents can understand the interest. That is what is the most important. It's not about, I was even told, one day I was really taken off by, I won't say the name, one of the ODM leaders in Dagoretti North. And, you know, he told me, first of all, we don't believe in you because you don't even put on an orange dress. You don't... You're just a user. You've come to use. You've come to do this. And he really talked. It was a delegates meeting, and I kept quiet. And I said, he has his right to say that. I have no issue. But the most important thing is that we will stand in Dagoretti North. People in Dagoretti North believe in ODM. And indeed, even in 2017, I remember, and I'll say it in Kiluya, when we came to now the real election, the date of the election, many of our lawyers, they respected, and they told me, Mom, we've always told you, you're in a wrong party. Now see, we have to vote for Baba. And I respected that. And I've really saluted them because, do you know what? They believe in Baba and they respect in Baba. And I believe they believe in the values of Baba. And so, even when I was joining and supporting ODM from 2018, again, I had issues with Jubilee because they used to tell me, the MCS of Jubilee said, no. Elachi is more ODM than Jubilee. And so
that is in the assembly.
In the assembly. And it was just an issue. And I remember my governor used to say, this one is now ODM. So, but I really thank the ODM MCS because they stood with me. But also the Jubilee ones who believed in what we were doing and how we brought in Badi. There were very few, but they supported. But in the end, I think Jubilee has now also seen they had leaned so much on the other side, and they have gone now. We just want to appreciate.
And the governor has since moved to
to Mombasa, and I wish him well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, as Safin comes in, so we wind up. You've spoken passionately about your bid for Dagoretti North.
Yes.
What are your 3 immediate priorities in Dagoretti North?
The first in Dagoretti North, education. I think I've stood with this education because I believe education allows you to sit on the table with any person in the world. And for me, education, when I look at the young people in Dagoretti North, especially the schools, one of the things I am hoping we have to do as members of parliament is to ensure we have feeding programs, especially within the areas that we feel really children need food. And because of post-COVID, we have to. The second is economic empowerment. We have very many young people. I would wish some of them, and we must get a polytechnic. We must build one. And I know I have gone already around. I have a few sponsors who would wish. We are just trying to see how we work together. I've also asked other business partners who are within Dagoretti North, how do we partner together and do a polytechnic so that we can have young people having skills, those who want to go back to different programs of plumbing, of welding, of mechanic, they go so that they can have their own employment. Women to go back to trade. Health, very critical.
The third one.
The third one, and that touches also on border to ensure at least each parent in Dagoretti North has an NHIF card, where we will partner with Baba Care also. But I'll follow, and I really pray that we will do that for the people of Dagoretti North as we move in with people with disability, and ensure also security becomes an issue where we can do and work together. I know Baba was saying yesterday in Kajiado, where I was, and it's something we need to do. Community policing is very critical, where young people work together for services, not to fight with the police.
All right. We need to wind up this interview as Safin comes in. Of course, Beatrice Elachi had told me she enjoys what we do.
Yes.
And because the outtake is a bit far, I'll just give you this script very quickly. And try and be Safina Ching.
Okay.
And look at that camera number 2.
And I'm here to vet. I want to see how good
And
the
Safina
job
is
you
standing
will
here
do.
to vet. Okay, do it.
Well, thank you very much. The First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta, has called on key stakeholders and Kenyans in general to help children with disability to actualize their potential and contribute to national development. The First Lady, who was speaking in Litein, Kericho County, said children must be given top priority if the country is to attain provision of equal opportunity and inclusivity of all citizens in its program.
Fantastic. I think I like it. When you retire from politics?
I got back to
here. She got
here.
me at the body language. Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you so
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Senator Beatrice Elachi, now vying in Dagoretti North as Member of Parliament on an ODM ticket. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank
Just
you.
still so we wind up the policy.
Yeah, thank you so much for creating time for us, catching the latest on Prime Edition. My name is Safina Cheng Oma, and on the sign language interpretation has been Lucy Mwaura, and of course our co-anchor for the night.
Oh yes, and my name is Beatrice Elachi from Dagoretti North.
Have a good night.
Have a blessed night.
All right.